Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Aqueduct Racetrack here on Saturday. It is the 7th of January 2023. Gonna look at the stakes races on the program from the Big A, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kit 5 for more selections for race courses around the world. Let's look at the stakes action here on today's program from Aqueduct. The 8th and ninth race. The 8th race, Road to the Kentucky Derby, begins with this race here in New York. It is the Jerome Stakes. It's going for a purse of $150,000, race for 2-year-olds here. We have a field of 8 horses going to the main track. The distance of ground is 1,600 meters, or the 1 mile trip on the Aqueduct main track. 1,600 meters, 1 mile here in the Jerome. A race very rich in history. I think it's one of your oldest races here in New York. It's not the States, if I'm not mistaken. But my top selection here, I'm going to go with the 4-horse Logan's Knight. Let's go 4-1-6-5 in the superfecta. 4-1-6-5 super, top selection 4-horse Logan's Knight. This 3-year-old colt by Golden Sense. Michael McCarthy trains. Dylan Davis gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came 26 November at Churchill. 6 furlongs and optional 100 claimer. And the horse finished third by 1.5 lengths that day. And he was very wide and he just couldn't get the good turn of foot. I do think the trip was just a little bit too long, too short for him. I think going to the 1-turn mile, which his father was bred for, Golden Sense, he should get that extra turn of foot. And I think he get the job done. I think there's a lot of pace in this one for him to close up with. 2 back on the 21st of October at Keeneland, 6.5 in the main special weight, 97,000. He won by half a length, and he didn't have the best beginnings that day, but he stalked, he got through late, and he got the job done, winning by a half length. A definite improvement off his debut, which came at Churchill on the 21st September. 6 furlongs in the main special weight for 123,000. He finished second by 1 3/4 lengths that day, and he just stalked, was a little bit wide, had the lead, it got overtaken. He just needed the race for experience. Training very well at the Churchill Down Training Center. I'm going to give him a shot here today. I think your second likeliest winner is the 1-horse Neutral Network. 3-year-old colt by Cloud Computing. Chad Brown trains. Manny Franco gets the mount. Most recent on 13th of November on the mud here at Aqueduct. 7 furlongs in main special weight. He won by 5, and on the front end all throughout, he took off clear. I thought that was a very good victory. Since then, he's been training very well at Belmont, the train track. 5/8 of a mile drill, 102 and 4/5 of a second. The 7th best work out of 8, and then 2 weeks prior, half mile, 48 and 3, the 23rd best work out of 161. Coming back here where his dad won, he didn't win the drum, but I believe he won the Wood Memorial 2017 or something like that. But coming back here, should get a good trip from going the extra trip to a mile. I'm going to use him in the pick 4. Let's do a double with this race. So we'll go 4-1 cutting into the Queen's County. But to recap my selection for the 8th from Aqueduct, it is the Jerome. Let's take the 4-horse Logan's Knight. Give kudos to the 1-horse Neutral Network. 4-1-6-5 super. 4-1 in your multi-race. The co-featured 9th race rescheduled from the canceled card, or partially canceled card, last Saturday here at Aqueduct. The 9th race, it is the Queen's County Stakes. It's going for a $150,000 purse, race for 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 11 horses taking a stroll around the Aqueduct main track, which is 1,800 meters in circumference, if you want to go by that, with the distance of ground of 1 mile and 1/8 on the Aqueduct main track. 1,800 meters, 1 mile and 1/8 here in the Queen's County. And very good race. Last week's and this week's race is very good. My top selection, I'm gonna go with the 2-horse Unbridled Bomber. 2-7-10-3 for me in the superfecta. 2-7-10-3 super. Top selection 2-horse Unbridled Bomber. 4-year-old colt by Upstart. James Ryerson trains 1. Dylan Davis gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came 12th of November here at Aqueduct. 1 mile 3/16 on the main track, an op 62 claimer, and he won by 4 3/4 lengths that day. He stalked a slow pace, was a little bit wide, but when he got the turn of foot, he got the job done. A very good gritty performance there. Or good, not gritty performance, good easy performance there. Coming back here where it's like good pace, can handle a wet going. I think he could get the job done, really run another good race. 2 back in allowance race for 105 at Aqueduct, mile 8th, 29th of September. He won by 4 3/4 lengths, and again that day he sat back early, stupidly wide, but he circled the field late. A very good race after all is said and done. And then prior to that at Saratoga, mile 8th in allowance race, 115,000. He finished 4th by 14 3/4 lengths, was wide around 2 turns, stalking that that day, which really you just can't do going on length at Saratoga. And then the Dwyer, he just faced very tough horses on a very hot day. I think that cost him. He likes running here. He's 5-2 on this track. He actually ran in last year's early Derby preps locally. Finished fourth in the Jerome. Came back to run 10th in the Withers here, where he had a very horrible trip on a track that was favoring speed that whole winter, that whole early part of the winter meeting last year. But track's not as weird today, but it is still playing to speed, I noticed. But coming here today at 7-2, I think he's a likely winner. I'm going to take Law Professor for second here. Most recently, the British Cup Dirt Mile, he just wasn't keeping up from a wide post draw. Before that, I like the place behind Life is Good in the Woodward. Another horse, it wouldn't surprise me if he closes up to get the job done. At 2-1, let's use him in that double. But to recount my selection for the night from the Aqueduct, it is the Queen's County. Let's take the 2-horse Unbridled Bomber. Give kudos to the 7-horse Law Professor. 2-7, 10-3 Super, 2-7 in your multi-race. So good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck, everybody.